Hey, we're going to go into the top myths. I'm going to myth bust some of these claims on carnivore and ketogenic diets. I was going to do the top 5, but I couldn't stop writing. And I was writing them all out. So let thy count the ways and let's get into it. Welcome everyone to my very humble life. It has been very humbling. I must say, moving from Hollywood, California to a small town in Tennessee, and in 3 years I'm going to be 60 years of age, so there's a lot of humbling going on here. But let's get into it. These top myths, and I've mentioned I think all of them. I have a list right here. I've mentioned all of them at some point, but I thought it'd be nice to put it in one video so those who just start this diet have a clue of clearing up the friggin' collusion of these low carb diets. Here we go. I got the list to keep them all. There's so many. All right. Top 1. Protein loss, that you need to eat a lot of protein to not lose muscle. That is one of the biggest myths ever. In fact, you have quite the opposite affectation. If you eat too much protein and you're dehydrated, so here's the caveat. When you do low carb diets, you dump a lot of water via your kidneys, so you are susceptible for chronic dehydration, and then you're eating these large amounts of protein because actually you're trying to feel satiated because you're afraid of fat. And then people think they're going to lose muscle. It's not about the muscle. It's about your hormones, like insulin. If you're insulin sensitive, you don't need a lot of protein to get into the muscle cells so they can grow. You need to be insulin. Did I say insulin sensitive? If you're insulin resistant, then that's the problem. If you're insulin sensitive, you don't need a lot of protein because it only takes a wee bit of powerful insulin to be the driver of amino acids into the muscle cells so they'll grow. And you're going to be in ketosis, so you won't be going through gluconeogenesis and breaking down the amino acids in your body, getting into this shriveled, unhealthy, weakened skeletal muscle plus reproductive system. And you eat through your skin. And, well, not literally, but figuratively, when you are in gluconeogenesis state. When you eat too much protein, you can't get into ketosis because that excess protein turns into sugar, like a candy bar. And then you don't lose the weight. And then it's not enough. This is a whole video on its own. There's not enough stored energy from that protein that's converted into sugar. So your blood sugar becomes destabilized, your thyroid and your adrenals are like, what? Wait, what? No, they tank. Let's keep going with my list. I gotta go faster. There's too many. Maybe I'll do part 2. We've got fat makes you fat. Fat does not make you fat, my people. Again, it's about your hormones. It's how your body utilizes the calories, because there's no such thing as calories, really. Rather than just counting these calories, it makes no sense. 500 calories from cookies is not going to respond metabolically the same as 500 calories from a steak or from pork belly or even from pure fat. One is going to spike your blood sugar and your insulin and put you in storage mode, and one is not. Plus, high fat gives you vitamins and substrate for ketones, which keeps you in fat burning mode, not fat storing mode. But there's more. That carnivore diets and ketogenic diets create Candida or get Candida to grow. Like what? What is this? No. Or yeast spores feed on ketones. They tried to pull that one, and I think these lying myths come from people in maybe the food and Pharmacological Administration, the FDA, not liking the fact that people are changing their diets and getting off all those grains. So they'll put out those rumors. Be careful. No. No, no, no. But there's more. There's more. That coconut oil and MCT oil are great brain health. Well, coconut oil has lauric acid. MCT oil is a medium chain triglyceride. Gives you a little bump of energy, but it's processed. There's no lauric acid in MCT oil. Can't get into ketosis, which leads me to the whole beta hydroxybutyrate esters, the ketone esters. You could buy these products that put you into ketosis. Lies, lies, lies. Like the Thompson twins said, yeah? No. Absolutely not. These products can give you stomach ache. They can give you acid reflux because it's salt. And they present ketones in the blood, but you're not in ketosis. What about your blood sugar? This is what I told these companies that wanted me to work with them years ago. And I was like, blood sugar? Blood sugar high? Ketones, toilet pee out. And those are esters. Those aren't real ketones. You want to make ketones from your own body fat. That's how you know you're in ketosis. And that's when you start to see a stabilization of thyroid hormones, blood sugar, insulin, glucagon, reproductive hormones. When you keep the blood sugar here rather than up, down, because not getting into ketosis on a ketogenic or carnivore diet can make you hypoglycemic, and then your hair starts falling out because your thyroid's all pissed off as well. I know. Which leads me back to the fat. You can't get into ketosis on MCT oil or coconut oil. You might see a raise in your blood, but they end up in the toilet. Get a urine strip, pee on it, and if it turns purple, you're not in ketosis. You're losing ketones via your urine. We need animal fat. We're made out of animal fat, which is mixed with poly, mono, and saturated fats. That's what we're made out of. That's what we should be eating. How does it make any sense that our body is made out of all these cholesterol and monos and polys, but it's bad for us? Which drives me to the whole cholesterol myth. People are constantly asking me, my cholesterol's high. We have been so brain scrubbed to be afraid of things that are illogical. How is butter or tallow going to give you a heart attack? I mean, at body temperature, it's liquid. It's sliding through your digestive tract. Sugar's the thing that gets sticky and crusty and gross, that glycates and damages cells. People become afraid. I'm like, if you eat a lot of fat and then go take a cholesterol test, it's not cholesterol. Cholesterol is an antioxidant. It actually helps heal the body. It's broken down lipoproteins, which is a carrier of cholesterol. That's like an Uber. You jump in it and cholesterol goes to the inflammation. It's when those cholesterol molecules become damaged and small and they become sticky from carbohydrates and sugars in excess. Yes. But there's more. Should you put butter in your coffee? That whole bulletproof, almost no one talks about it anymore. And the reason why people don't talk about things anymore is because they had problems, like fasting. That's another thing. Fasting destroys your body. And there's this autophagy myth that you can't measure. But people are so follow other ones and believe what they say so much, they don't question it. They regurgitate the words like, oh, bulletproof coffee. Oh, put fat in it. It gives you good brain health. No, it doesn't. I'm about it. My battery's going to die soon. That means I got to hook this phone up. Yes, I use a phone. People will do a carnivore diet and fast, like double whammy stupid. Like, you're already compromising your electrolyte balance and your fluid balance on a carnivore diet. I know. Then you fast, which every time you don't get in your minerals, you become dehydrated, like sodium, potassium, magnesium. I know. When you're relying on meat and salt, because that's another myth, thinking that your body's going to do okay with just meat and salt. People are like, oh, I get my electrolytes from the meat with the potassium and then I add salt. Magnesium? How much salt is in the meat? or no, salt that you add, how much potassium is in the meat? Negligible amounts, to be honest. There's a way to liberate that potassium without accessing all that protein, which is to do a meat stock soup, and then the potassium gets into the water, right? Then you drink the water, then you get more potassium. But just eating a bunch of meat is eating a bunch of meat, not eating a bunch of potassium. And you have to mind your electrolytes. Also, vitamin D supplements, total myth that that's good for you. I'm not going to go down the weeds because I don't think YouTube would like me saying that, but get your ass outside instead. Get a tan. I'm super tan. Super tan. That's how you get your vitamin D. And from animal fat. I can keep going back to the whole animal fat gives you a heart attack. My people, it makes you fat. Y'all, just stop. You need fat to train your body to go from a carb burner to ketone burner. The enzymes that make ketones via the liver. You want to eat fat to get vitamin D, E, A, and K. Some of it has conjugate linoleic acid, ALL, CLAs, omega-3s, all kind of goodness. I know. It's a myth that you're going to get a heart attack or damage your liver. No. If you have high liver enzymes and a compromised liver, it's going to be very hard to get into ketosis. Also with the gallbladder, it's going to be very hard if you have a sludged up gallbladder. And another myth is that you need surgery if it's not infected. That's another myth. But there's more. Let's pull out my little list here. I should do this in a proper long video. Somebody said, I'm so tired of seeing you from the chest up. I'm like, give me time. Your girl is juggling 1,000 balls and not dropping any. Another myth is that you're in ketosis at a 0.5 in ketones. No, you're not. No, you're not. And if your ketones are perfect, which should be between a 1.8 and a 3.0, but your blood sugar is too high, like it's in the 90s, you're not in ketosis. And that's where that urine strip is very, very, very good. Another myth is that you can just use a urine strip. No, a glucometer, a blood glucometer is always going to look at your blood values. And it's going to be more close to being in ketosis rather than urine strip. Because clear could mean you're in ketosis and clear could mean you're not in ketosis. And purple, they says that you're in ketosis, but actually means you're not. But there's more. Okay. If you're not pooping, that's a big one. If you're not pooping, you are so jacked up. It's toxic. You can develop an impaction of poop and just really put a hole in your ascending colon where you're pooping. Develop fissures, hemorrhoids. Like this girl from Steak and Butter Gal, she's like sitting in a crop top going, look at my stomach, it's so flat, and I only crap twice a week. I was like, this shite is on the internet, and y'all are watching this stuff. Be very careful. If it don't make any sense, it don't make sense. It's like I try to tell people who are coffee drinkers, I'm like, would you give it to your child? Oh no. Would you have your little kid do intermittent fasting or OMAD? Oh no. Well, then why are you doing it? And they always pause every time like, I don't know. Yeah, be very careful. If you're not pooping, then toxins are being reabsorbed back into the bloodstream. The poop is to get out the waste. If you're not pooping, you're not using the protein. That's garbage. That would be a very healthy colon on a younger person, and that would be lean meats in smaller amounts. Not this 2 pound of crap thing that people are crapping on. I mean, not crapping on, consuming. That's another myth. The priming and then the indulgence of, no, the priming and then the fasting. Y'all be careful. This is the Be Careful channel. Carnivore and fruit. One of the quickest ways to age you. Look at Mr. Paul. Right? You're not in ketosis because there's all that fructose. But you can't get glycogen storages in the muscle because there's all that fructose. You're just going to get liver glycogen. They're going to tank. Everybody's going to go into gluconeogenesis. You're going to start aging very bad. Right? Because you can't use fructose for energy. Not sustained energy. Unless you become a fructose addict. And then all that fruit is glycating, which means damaging the cells. You start aging. I know. The keto products, the electrolyte products, electrolyte, garbage. To use potassium chloride. Not all of them. But the first thing you want to do is try to get your potassium from food first. Magnesium is the only one you can't scrimp on. And there's different types of magnesium for different types of reasons, but magnesium glycinate is the favored one because it's very fast and absorbable into the bloodstream and affects your central nervous system. A lot of you guys are lit. And the oxalate one, that's a whole another video. Everyone's like, I'm dumping oxalates. I'm like, no, you're not. Believe it or not, our bodies are very well equipped to purge oxalates out of the body. It's when you have it in excess in spinach smoothies and you're eating stevia and a lot of stevia, spinach, potatoes, but even potatoes are fine. It's when you're eating things broken down into smoothies all the time. Chocolate has oxalates, avocados have oxalates. I've been coaching a lot of people. I love my Sally Norton, but honey child, not everything's an oxalate. Sometimes people have other toxic damage to their body, but everybody's convinced that's an oxalate. I'm like, no, it's not. No, it's not. I've been working with people been eating avocados for years, and they're not having oxalate dumping. I developed oxalates from spinach and stevia. I did. And as soon as I stopped eating those two things, my kidney crystals went away on eating avocados. Now, how does that make sense? If avocados have so much oxalic acid, be very careful. Not everything that has oxalates in it is going to make you start storing oxalates all over the body, calcifying. And be very careful with that. And I think I'm going to do part 2. Things like, you think you're in ketosis because you're fasting? Not. Nope, there's a ton. But we'll go more into these details in a part 2. Because now I got to edit this thing and get to bed. I know. Last thing is, I did a video saying whatever happened to my book deal. Go check out that video. I'll link it at the end. But I realize a lot of you guys don't really understand what it's like to be a purist in some aspects. I don't cheat on my diet, ever. Lifestyle. And to move across the country to escape tyranny with a horse and nowhere to live and no truck and no trailer and you don't know anyone. Like I said, I decided to put my animals first and all of the sponsorships and affiliate programs. That's why you don't see it on my channel. You kind of gotta, for me, I want to believe in the products that I use, and I have 2 affiliate programs, but I'm not in that mental headspace to be like running ads like, okay guys, I'm going to stop right here 5 minutes into the video and talk about this product. It's just not where my mind is at right now. My mind is like building a home, taking care of my mom, and relaxing for 5 seconds and never get enough rest. I go against all my advice, not all of it, but a big chunk, like going to bed early, resting. The only thing I do is I don't push it at the gym when I know my body's tired, because that is the quickest way to blow out your thyroid and gluconeogenesis. So don't go and do a bunch of cardio, because that's also a myth. You're not going to access the fat cells, you're going to access the muscle. Comment below if any of this made sense. I cannot talk. Any of this made sense to you? Yeah. Did you find yourself going through any of these issues? You know, because people, I mean, there's so many more things like eating a bunch of butter right before you go to bed. Myth, because a lot of you have histamine to the wee bit amounts of whey and casein. Cheese is not good for you. It's another myth on these diets. Super high histamine. Yeah. And I need to do a probiotic video because, whoa, you guys are doing it the wrong way. Comment below. Book a consultation if you feel like you need my help. I'm probably the only one on the freaking internet in this low-carb sphere who really challenges its audience. I become very unfavorable because I just can't sit and lie and lie and lie. Ooh, you do a carnivore diet, you're going to get into autophagy. Look at me. Autophagy. Autophagy. Energy dwindling. Energy. My spirit is, I could go through, I'm like superwoman, like, but on building this house and physically helping build myself and taking the animals and doing the research and helping my mom. Yesterday was on Labor Day. Ooh, the van I bought for her, the air conditioning, the Freon, it leaked out and it was hot in that van. My mom's like, it's hot in this van, get me out of here. And we spent the whole day, but it was great. Comment below. I will do part 2 because there are so many more details I need to hit. My ass needs to go to bed because this is the first day I've got energy. It's that wired and tired. And if you keep pushing wired and tired, you blow out the thyroid. And we don't want that. We don't want the hair to fall out. We don't want me to be cold all the time and develop constipation and dry skin. I want to keep the lovely, supple skin that I have at 56, and just in a matter of days, I'm going to be 57. And if you go back to my video catalog and be like, I'm 46. I remember I didn't start saying my age until I hit 46, because people would be like, oh, you're 34. And I'd be like, I mean, if you want to make me 34, sure. And then at some point, I'm like, you ding dong, be proud of who you are, right? No plastic surgery, free of all of that foolery and foolery and fillery. Just take care of yourself and do some facial yoga and some gua sha. That stuff is the bomb. Get a tan because that helps the skin, believe it or not. And I'm out. My Instagram is look at me. I'm not going to edit this out. A lot of people edit out the flubs. I don't feel like it. My Instagram is Stephanie Ketogenic. My Facebook fan page is Stephanie the Business Person. My website is stephanieperson.com. I run a course where I cover all 3 diets that are low carb, like keto, carnivore, and low carb high fat, because a lot of you guys don't know how to slide between them or why you should even. A lot of you guys don't understand why you have a leaking gut still after doing these low carb diets, that you feel good at first with carnivore and then you start feeling crappy. I got you back. And I'm out. Peace. Energy in my soul.